Hello class, this video is going to show you how to create a consumer persona using two different online platforms which are free. A consumer persona is really just a way to bring your target audience to life. It's a snapshot of who they are, what their goals are, the behaviors that relate to how they relate to the product, and really gives you a good basis for developing your content because it makes your target audience very real. So let's get started. Number one, I'm going to show you how to make a persona on Hubspot, Make My Persona website. So if you want to, you can easily search that up, Spot, Make My Persona, Hubspot, or through the link that I'll provide you in Blackboard. You'll find that when you get onto this particular website that you'll need to actually log on and provide some details. My suggestion is that if you're a group, that just one of you does this, but creates a username and password that the whole group can use, so you can all edit each other's personas for the group. So once you've entered in all those details, you'll come to the Buyer Persona homepage here, and you'll note that there's some Create New buttons here. So you'll start off, and we're going to create a persona for Shahid, which is the Arab version of sort of Netflix. My first persona is going to be Afra, the series queen. So this is a particular persona that is really into the new sort of up-to-date series and watches them. So once you create a name that you think is appropriate for your persona, you can put in certain demographic characteristics. Now they've got particular set ones here, but you can change those a little bit later if it's broader or narrower. There's also education as well, so these are the demographics. And we're going to say that she's got at least a bachelor's degree. Next up, a lot of these actually on HubSpot have very sort of business-oriented elements to it. So I generally, some of these I actually don't bother with too much, but I might put in something that perhaps aligns a little bit. Then a lot of this is all about sort of career. I'm actually going to put in a job title that is more to do with who they are in terms of occupation. So she's either a student or young professional. And I'm going to ignore these two here. And then you come to essentially the part of the website where you can actually make some adjustments. And this is where I'll make adjustments if there's some things in there that didn't quite make sense. So I might change the color based on each of my personas. I'm going to make her blue. I'll come down here. I actually think that the age group is 18 to 25, so I'm going to have to change that. That's a bit strange the way they've popped that in. Okay, she's got a bachelor's degree, social network, so their industry, I'm actually going to change that as well and say student, young professional in there. Okay. So a lot of these I'm going to actually delete because they're about jobs, and we're not so concerned about that in terms of the end consumer. What I am going to talk about is the goals or objectives. So in here, she's interested in the latest trending series for both basic entertainment and social connection. So these are the goals, particularly for streaming. Her biggest challenges, and again I make this in relation to streaming, getting good quality streaming services for the latest cool TV series, so it's about the quality, and also finding good Arabic content that's exciting and not the old sort of dramas. So they're her challenges. Now the great thing about this is I can actually add a new section if I want to. So I've added a couple of them in terms of how they gain information about the particular series and also their personal characteristics. So you would have done some research on all of this and noted that this was the case for your particular target market based on your research. So again, you'd be looking at things like demographics, psychographics, any geographical elements, as well as behavioural. Now, I'm actually going to create a separate behavioural section about streaming behaviours. That approximately 50% of the target binge watch television series in the past 6 months. I got this from the Mid-East Media Survey, which is run by Qatar University and a US university, which you can find online. It's got some great statistics around media watching, in particular within the MENA region. And so I've written sort of 4 different things I've found out from there. Only around 10% pay for their online TV series content. 50% of the targets are in the Gulf countries and they already view Shahid, but only 10% watch Shahid from around the rest of the MENA region. So that really helps us to look at who we're targeting, if it's someone new or not. And lastly, I added a section on where does she gain her information about TV series. I put in there they keep up to date with you through social media, especially Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat, as well as chatting with friends. So based on that, we get a bit of an idea of who Afra the series queen actually is. And you could enter in a whole bunch of other things, like you could talk about the genres that they might like, any pain points that they have with the service. It could be more psychological factors like their personality, how they use the product, a whole series of different things that you've researched. So I can then just save that and it's ready. You can either share that through a link or you can actually download that, which is what I obviously did previously. Once you've got that, you will have a nice little snapshot of your consumer. Now, a really good thing to do is to notice that there's several of these potentially within a segment. I've done another one here, Ahmed the Gamer Geek. So that's how you create your persona using HubSpot, Make My Persona.
Once you're at Userforge, sign in and create a free account. Once you've signed in, you're going to be asked to create a workspace. Okay, from here, just select the free plan and add a buyer persona. So this is the buyer persona that you're going to write specifically to address a stereotypical user from your target audience. So for me, my blog post was about fishing in Abu Dhabi. And specifically, I've written the post to target an expat fisherman, someone who had moved to the UAE, who loved fishing, but simply just didn't know where to go about it, where to fish, where to buy the equipment. So I'm going to call my group here expat fisherman. And in the assignment, it asks you to make sure that you include a quote, goal, story, and also the needs of that particular buyer. So I'm going to create my buyer persona, and here you can see the persona on the left, but it doesn't include any of the information. So now I'm going to add some sections. Specifically, I'm going to add a photo of this buyer to make that person come to life. So for me, the expat fisherman, I've already found a photo that I think appeals and is really descriptive of that target audience. I'm also going to enable statistics, so to give a little bit of demographic information about my particular individual. He has a master's degree. He is located in Abu Dhabi. He's aged around 52 and an income of around 30,000 dirhams per month. Okay, so I'm done here, and all of a sudden my buyer persona is starting to come to life. Now it's time for me to add these sections, the quote, the goals, the story, and the needs. Okay, I'm going to include each of them now, and you can have a look. Here it is, my buyer persona for David, the expat fisherman. You can see his demographic details here. I have a quote, I'd rather be fishing. Now, David has certain goals. He moved to the UAE to become financially independent. To escape the pressures of work is very important to him, and that is really why he is fishing. And he also wants to enjoy life. So he's not just here to work, but he also wants to make sure that he's living a good life. So David and his family moved to Abu Dhabi from the UK. He made the move to get ahead financially, but also to have an adventure. He really likes it in the UAE, but he finds his job stressful, and his teenage children, they miss their friends in the UK, which makes life a little bit stressful as well. David used to be an avid fisherman in the UK. It was his hobby. It helped him to escape the pressures of work. He has a highly stressful job. David would like to have the similar experience here, but he just doesn't know where to start. So you can see now with this story, it gives me a lot of information that's going to help me target my blog content. So what are his needs? Well, David needs some local knowledge. While he was an accomplished fisherman back in the UK, he doesn't know where the best places to fish are in the UAE, doesn't know where to begin, doesn't know where the fish are biting and how to catch them. David wants to buy fishing gear that lasts, more than a couple of trips. He doesn't want to spend an awful amount of money though, because his main goal here is to become financially independent. So David needs a hobby to take his mind off his stressful job, the other pressures of life, the challenges of moving to a new country. So with this buyer persona, it gives me now a real vivid image, a vivid description of someone who I can write my blog content for.